Give me a few minutes, folks. I'll be right with you. All right. What's good, people? All right. Earlier today, I was doing some tests trying to make sure my setup was working properly, make sure TikTok was working and all these other platforms that I'm streaming on. I'm on live on Kick. I'm also live on Twitch, YouTube, versus both vertical and horizontal, depending on how you want to view everything. So I'm sorry I didn't get to see the intro video and all that. That's what you heard first if you were on mobile. So let's see how this is going to go today. Let's see. Let me make sure my chat is working, and then I'll start the show. Give people a little bit of time to get in here. Auto find lost sources and activate selected. Go and see how it goes. I believe the chat should be working right about now. So just trying to make sure everything's adjusted just for for the live stream there. I had to restart everything on my PC just to get it right. He said, "What is this?" This is my avatar, and I'm doing a live stream talking about USAID and all the crash outs going on. You know, so give me a few minutes. I'm still waiting for more people to get in here before we get started. My main channel is on YouTube, but I'm branching out, trying to do everything on Twitch as well. So bear with me. Give me a few minutes. And if you're wondering what my icon is, it's just a caricature. How they view most black men. This is pretty much a caricature. A little political discussion we're about to have over this USAID. Shout out to the brothers on Machismo TV, Contractor, Salty Balls, and Tito, who's been ripping up the scene so far, giving us some great content, man. I wish I could support a little bit more, but we'll get to that shortly. Appreciate y'all for coming in on TikTok and joining in the discussion. I think a few more people need to get in here. Let's see. Why's my subscriber joint is not working? Appreciate you, Josh. What up? Let's see. It's Friday night. If you don't have a Valentine, you might as well get in here. Just hang out, listen to what I got to say, and enjoy the show. Matter of fact, where's my Twitch here? Panel. All right. Appreciate you stopping by, Annette Jeffries. 2 people watching. Be sure to hit the like button as you come in. Go ahead and wipe your feet on the like button. All right, so let me get this up here. Oh, said 4 watching, nobody cares. Air Force retired. Okay. I'm also Army retired, so thank you for your service. And you should care because they're trying to balance the budget off the backs of veterans as well. I've seen some documents, some videos earlier where they talked about taking away people's benefits and stuff like that. You know, I got hurt when we went over to Iraq and all that. So they're talking about taking everybody's stuff. 4 people watching, nobody cares. I mean, you didn't have to leave that comment, but I appreciate it though. All engagement is good engagement. All right, so let's switch over to this first video that I pulled up here. Make sure you like, subscribe, share, get this out to people. So the first video I got here is Rand Paul and Blumenthal. I thought this was pretty funny, so let me kick it off with this one right here.
Senator Blumenthal.
Thanks, Mr.
Let
Chairman.
me know if you hear that.
I am disappointed that we are not having a serious hearing on how to improve USAID. There's room for improvement in every agency, as there is in almost anything that we do. But this hearing is simply designed to give cover for President Trump's unlawful dismantling of a congressionally established agency against the law and against the interests of this country and against the interests of many in this country, including American.
Make one slight adjustment here and fix auto play
farmers who benefit from it.
For some reason my headset is not working. Oh, there we go. Fair use, fair use. All right, so let me jump in here for a second. Nobody's debating or arguing against humanitarian efforts. What people are pissed off about is that some of these organizations disguise themselves as humanitarian efforts, but we're really funding other agendas. Some of these organizations have been tied to Hamas and all these other terrorist groups who happen to operate charities, go figure, to get their money. Even some of the food has been hijacked by some of these groups and redirected to foreign fighters. So we are well within our rights to make sure that the governments that we give this money to are doing right by us. They have to be accountable, or the money goes everywhere. Look at Africa, for instance. The reason why a lot of folks, I've seen some videos, and a lot of folks are not really pissed in Africa about not getting aid because it never trickled down to them. It went to the bank accounts of a lot of their government officials. And you have people with firsthand knowledge doing videos on it, like, well, they sent like, $1 billion over here. And you may have seen 25% of that make it to the people. So they're not upset. They're actually happy that they're not getting this aid anymore, because it's going to force the politicians in their countries to reevaluate what they're doing. The people are going to get tired because now you can't make excuses for shortfalls and you can't depend on foreign aid. So now you have to do something. If the people are starving, guess who's the first ones to go? It's going to be the people at the top. All right, so we'll continue on with this one for a few more minutes. Speed that up a little bit. Yep, let's go. What up, man? Appreciate you stopping by. Once again, it's not our problem. Not our problem at all. Y'all barely want to pay for the food we have here. Our food prices are high because of supply and demand. If we keep sending all our stuff overseas, it makes things worse on the people here. I saw videos of people wrapped around a block for eggs at Costco or Sam's, whatever the hell it was. So what are we talking about here? You got this stone-faced idiot here advocating for USAID after they've uncovered tons of fraud, waste, and abuse. You know that hotline exists for a reason. It just so happens that Elon Musk and this current administration said, damn the hotline, we're going directly to the source. And we're going to get it right. He said, no audio. What the hell's going on here? Hold on. What the hell happened to my audio? Yeah, I don't know what's going on, man. Hang on, let's see something here. I'm getting audio on all my other devices. So is the clip not going out? Let's see. Oh, that's right. I screwed up. Yeah, my bad. Let me run it back a little bit.
these actions. President of the Iowa Farmers Union said, quote, USAID is important for farmers. It's unfortunate that we would drop those relationships that we have built over time, end quote. The Ohio Farmer Union president said, quote, USAID plays a crucial role, not only providing food aid to millions around the world, but also directly purchasing grains from Ohio farmers. Ohio farmers are more than capable of rising to the challenge of feeding the world, but they need stability to do so. In shuttering USAID, President Trump is pulling billions of dollars away from American farmers without apparently a second thought. That's a lot of harm, that's a lot of waste, and a lot of abuse to people who are the backbone of food production in this nation.
What I find funny is they keep finding all these statements from all these different people. But again, the worldwide food problem or shortages is not our problem. We got people we can't even feed here. And yet we're worried about everybody else. The farmers are going to be just fine, especially if y'all keep these folks from buying up all the farmland in California and all these other places and then turning them into corporate farms. So who are you really advocating for? Because I guarantee you the small time farmer is not selling all his stuff overseas. There's a lot of corporate farms here in America and people just ain't paying attention.
Already a lot of their labor, investment, produce going to waste as a result of the Musk power grab, slash and trash agencies in the name of eliminating waste, fraud, and abuse, but in fact creating it and profiting from it. Elon Musk is giving America the middle finger in seizing power, engaging.
So how is he giving them middle finger? He's letting the American people know where your money is going. So it's like investments at this point. You invest with this firm, they're supposed to let you know where your money is going. And that's pretty much what they're doing with our tax dollars. So if we don't know where this money is going, and we've seen clips and snippets of people slipping up and saying the quiet parts out loud, like censoring the American people don't need to know where the money is going. That was all Democrats. All these stone-faced people like this idiot right here making excuses. There is no reason for the pushback against letting people know where their money is going. I would never pay for something that I didn't know where it was going. We're just giving money away at this point. We're hemorrhaging money everywhere. But there's a darker thing out there, and I don't think anybody's really thought about this. I've heard so many people complain about the fact that we haven't gotten reparations. And I'll be honest, like I'm tired of the conversation. But the reason why I think you will never see it is because we are broke. When you got programs spending billions of dollars per year and nobody knows where the money is going, they could have been paid for reparations. They could have been paid out reparations. You got so many undisclosed, I forget what the word they used on the U.S. spending website, but so many undisclosed contracts of where the money is going that they could have been paid everybody out. They could have done right by black people a long time ago. And all this Doge thing is doing is showing it. You can now make the case for what we deserve to get. Because they had the money. We are trillions of dollars in debt. You probably could have spent $2 to $4 trillion over the last couple of years paying out reparations. And it would have been a done issue. That's all this is showing black people right now. But you got so many people pushing against it. It's crazy to me. Absolutely insane. And yet you got these people right here. The reason why they don't want you to see what's behind the curtain, because they've been lying to black folks, and that whole commission that they did studying reparations, it's all BS. It's all BS. Because now they're saying that at one point they said they didn't have the money, right? They didn't have the money. but you're showing us today that they already spent the money. All right,
The
continue
biggest
on.
heist of information in America's history, delving into agencies and destroying them when his own corporations profit from contracts with them and controlling contracts in the future that will benefit his corporations. That's waste and fraud, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you. The accusation or criticism has been made that this is an unserious hearing full of conspiracy theorists. Well, you know, the Democrats were asked to participate like they always are, the same way we were when we were in the minority. They could have brought a witness. They chose not to even bring a witness. I can't conjecture as to why, but maybe it's because it's so embarrassing, the stuff that USAID is spending their money on. Who could possibly be against ending $2 million for sex change surgeries in Guatemala? I mean, who wants to defend that? I haven't heard anybody yet defend the waste and malfeasance that's going over there.
Thank you. They've been going round and about defending their participation in taking money, trying to discredit Elon Musk and the Trump administration, but they're not addressing the hot button issues that they keep finding, like stuff like this gender reassignment surgery. You heard it right here. Nobody's defending that, but you're going round and about trying to discredit the whole damn thing because there's so much corruption tied to it. And yet these folks are sitting here crashing out left and right. And then you're going to see the face of these crash outs here shortly.
$3 million for girl-centric climate change. Maybe there's not a witness here. Maybe it's not serious. I don't hear anybody explaining why we should continue to do that. Now, there is a legal question. There is a legal question. If there's $40 billion in USAID.
Yeah, I appreciate that. Like, that was the first thing that came to mind when I saw the scene and I went to USAID spending and I started looking around like, damn, they've been lying to folks this whole time. They spent so much money. Matter of fact, if they had took care of this 15 years ago, the amount of interest that they owe to foundational Black Americans would have been a whole lot less because they owe that money with interest and they had the money. I like my mind was blown when I thought about it.
And they don't spend it at all, and it just sits there. Can the president impound it? This is a real question. It may come to that. But I don't think any court is going to find that the executive branch cannot pause and audit spending. I mean, to crassly say and just to jump this, it's illegal, it's unlawful, it's a tragedy, it's a constitutional chaos. Well, auditing spending is what government should do. It's the traditional oversight that hasn't been done in a generation. That's why we're finding this stuff's been creeping up for a generation. $4.8 million for social media influencers in Ukraine. I mean, if people want to defend that, step forward and defend it. We are finding waste and malfeasance. You also have to realize that when you have a social agenda, and your social agenda is, you know, LGBT, well, when you take that to a conservative country that has religious problems with that, and you want to foist it on them and fly flags, what ends up happening is that doesn't increase diplomacy. That actually goes against diplomacy. I don't care what people's views are on any of these subjects. You can have
Sure, man. You can clip the stream. Anything you want to use on here, be my guest. Anybody can clip the stream.
any view on LGBT, but it shouldn't be part of foreign policy to force this on everybody around the world. It just isn't part of government and should never be part of government. But we're only finding this out because we have a president with the courage, including the advice of Elon Musk, including the advice of a lot of us, who have been saying for years, we need to look at USAID and make sure that they aren't committing fraud. Look, this morning, the CFO of FEMA was fired because she's spending $54 million on luxury hotels for illegal aliens. My goodness, there's a lot of Americans struggling to find work. Laken Riley's killer, we flew him and put him up in a luxury hotel in New York. He was there for a few months. We spent all of our money on him.
So basically, the United States is the super simp of the world. We out here saving holes around the planet, handing out condoms, giving out HIV, AIDS medication, AIDS treatment, giving out food, housing, everything worldwide, even housing illegals in our own country. We become a rest haven for hoes, like they say on the Mac. It had to stop somewhere. It had to stop somewhere. We're not getting anything from all these other people around the country, all around the world. Nothing. But we're handing out everything. I know people right now who have decent paying jobs but are living in their car. They go to the YMCA to take a shower. They have to eat out all the time because they don't have a kitchen. You got guys living in extended stays with P.O. boxes. I mean, come on now. If anything, if you don't want to pay reparations, you could have at least subsidized housing for Americans who have been hurt by this inflation and all the other stuff we got going on. It's crazy to me. You don't want to help your own folks, but you want to get in the good graces of other nations so you can get resources from them. And you hand them check after check after check. But if I'm wrong on my tax return, you want to throw me in jail. This is insane. And the fact that some of these people had the nuts to get on here on camera and defend this crap, it's crazy to me. It's like a spit in the face of everybody who pays taxes.
His meals, and then we flew him to Atlanta, and then he drifted over to Athens, and then he killed Laken Riley. Most Americans think that that's crazy and we shouldn't be doing it, but we are only finding it out because for once we have a president with the courage to say no, to go over there and put a padlock on the door and take the name down. But ultimately there will be a legal question. Can he impound it, or will it have to come back to Congress? I actually frankly think the better way is spend about $30 billion and send $10 billion back, and we do a rescission. There is a method for doing that, and I hope that is what is done. But even on the impoundment question, there are questions exactly, and I don't think it's ever made it all the way to the Supreme Court. There is court precedent on it, but we haven't gotten to that. A pause in funding is an impoundment. A pause in funding to do an audit is just good government, frankly. The question I have for the panel is this, though.
Mr. Chairman, may I just inquire?
Sure.
Because the chairman mentioned that we don't have a minority witness. I would suggest, and speaking out of turn here, because the ranking member isn't here and I don't purport to speak for him.
We're docking your time for next week. I'm just kidding.
But I would respectfully suggest that we have.
Hold on. You said after Musk, why not give an Asian-born man with his team of programmers access to all of our defense medical records? What could go wrong than a South American, one for each continent? Okay. So I can see that you're being disingenuous here. So let's go ahead and tackle that. Elon Musk was brought on, appointed head of Doge through executive order by the president. Okay? What he's doing for American people is a good thing. I don't care how you want to slice it. Showing where the money is going, where people can't pay for medications here, where folks are living in tent cities all around the country, where the damn dollar is not going as far as it used to. You can kiss my ass with this comment. Those people, as far as we know, only have read-only access. They can't go in there and change anything. That will be illegal. But what they can do is read the transcripts, read the data, scan the data, and figure out where exactly taxpayer dollars are going, not to no damn transgender surgeries overseas or to some damn pottery classes in South America. Hell, you got to pay for college, right? You got to pay your own way. You want any type of training or something like that, you got to pay for it, right? So what? So what if Elon Musk is from somewhere else? If I'm not mistaken, Elon Musk has citizenship here, if I'm not mistaken. So your argument is dead on its face. And the people who he has helping him run Doge are also American citizens. So you can miss us with the bullshit and trying to deflect and derail this whole damn show. And if you don't like what you're seeing, you can kick fucking rocks. That's what you can do. After months, why not give an Asian born man? Get the fuck out of here. See, this is what's wrong with America now. Not enough people want to stand up and do the damn right thing. Everybody wants to go along to get along, hand out flowers and candies and prizes to everybody. Everybody gets the same, even though this person over here is not working as hard as you. What this is the great equalizer. Taking back all this extra money that's just floating out there, causing inflation while you can't buy fucking eggs. And I hope you're still here and I hope you heard that. inflation is tied to how much the government spends. And some of y'all stupid individuals don't understand that. So the more money they give away, all this aid, the billions of dollars to Ukraine and Israel and to Africa and everywhere else, you're paying for that on the back end. Every time you buy something, you're sending money overseas. Fuck out of here.
Paul Martin, who was fired as Inspector General, come before us.
We didn't deny any witnesses. Your side did not put forward a witness. We did not deny any witnesses. You didn't put forward a witness. So, but I just think it's disingenuous to, to sit there and.
But I want brothers to catch this clip and really pay attention to what this chick's done. And I'm not going to be on here long.
Last week I saw a sign in the crowd that said Doge stands for dangerous oligarchs grab at everything. And I said it then and I'll say it again, that Elon Musk needs to keep his grubby hands, his greedy grubby hands off of our government. You know,
first of all, just like this previous commenter said, he can't access the money. What they can do is stop the money from going where it been going and into the wrong hands. So while Lex Luthor is up here running her mouth, she's gonna say something later on in this interview. Fair use, by the way. And then you're gonna see where I'm coming from.
I don't know about all of you, but I'm having a hard time sleeping at night. My daughter is 16 years old and looking at colleges, and I'm so worried about the world that she's living in now and the world that she will inherit. And I asked myself, how do we get here? How were working men and women convinced to believe that a failed businessman who was godless and lawless could lead them anywhere?
Failed businessman, but he's a billionaire, but that's a failed businessman. She's playing on the fact that a lot of people don't know how business go. A lot of people's businesses fail. And there's stats on that. I think it's like 50% fail in the first year, and then was another 70% fail in 5 years, and damn, it's hard to get to 10 years, right? All right, continuing on.
Because he lied. Because he's a liar and a crook. But he's been given a lot of oxygen. I want to give you all some. You're all here when you could have been anywhere else because you give a damn. You give a damn about this country.
And notice how Keisha and these simps become the face of every hot button issue. Now, what she's talking about here is the Consumer Protection Agency, right? But the way they talk about it is that everything Doge is doing is all bad. They're ignoring all the corruption they've found so far, ignoring every last little bit of it, and only focusing on the agencies that they quote unquote think that they're targeting. They may be targeting the consumer protection. However, what have they really done in the last couple of years? I haven't seen a number of lawsuits in the last couple of years, because there's been a lot of financial fraud going on with these banks and finance companies with cars and stuff like that. I know of several cases. I've been a part of one to where they were charging this crazy interest, and they were able to change the rules on a whim, even though it wasn't in your contract. That's what the Consumer Protection Agency is supposed to take care of. But you haven't seen a whole lot of that in the last couple of years.
Give a damn about our democracy. You give a damn about your neighbors. You are the true patriots.
Yeah, if you shut your
now,
mouth.
You may not have an occupant in the Oval Office that cares about lifting your burdens and lightening your loads, and we will stand
speed this up a little bit.
Down costs for everyday people. Didn't have a plan for it, but said he would. Well, Donald, how's that going? I'll ask you all, how's it going? Are your eggs cheaper? Is your housing more affordable?
Now, bitch, you're being disingenuous. Lex Luthor, listen. He just got in office. Hasn't been in office a full month yet. And you expect him to beat all this inflation right off the bat. This is how gullible they think that Democratic voters are. Like it's supposed to happen just like that. I'm pretty sure if you want to do something crooked and call the Fed and say, hey, drop the interest rates down to 1% right now, I'm pretty sure he could do that. But it wouldn't be right. Cooling down this economy, getting rid of all the fraud, waste, and abuse, slowing things down so that you can properly drop the interest rates would help out better in the long run. Not slapping a Band-Aid on everything just because he just took office. That's that shit that Joe did.
Tell me how letting Elon put his paws in the cookie jar is helping a single person who calls this country home. Families are struggling. The rent is too damn high. The cost of groceries is too damn high. The big banks and giant...
Let's not act like this didn't happen under Joe's watch. Let's not act like this didn't happen because of Democrats shipping money willy-nilly overseas to fund somebody else's war instead of letting them duke it out on their own.
Corporations are all too eager to nickel and dime hardworking people. And you know what has been a saving grace for families trying to hold on to a buck? This small but mighty government agency, the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau. Now look, those of you watching, you may have never heard of them. You know, isn't it just the truth that you don't know how much you benefit from your government or your democracy until someone comes through with a wrecking ball and creates a constitutional crisis with an unprecedented power grab? You've never heard of them, but trust me, they've been working hard for you, the people, for over a decade. They are the same agency that got banks to cap overdraft fees. They take on scammers that are after our elders' money. They stop the medical debt from dinging your credit report. They go after banks that practice lending discrimination. This is what we're going to dismantle. What in the hell kind of government efficiency is that? No justice for scammed elders? Look, let me tell you something. I'll take a bit of umbrage here. I'll speak on behalf of my colleagues. I think I can say we are all willing to work with anyone who's serious about doing the work of censoring the American people and advancing progress.
Y'all caught that? Let's run it back.
We are all willing to work with anyone who's serious about doing the work of censoring the American people and advancing progress.
There it is. We're willing to work with people who are willing to censor the American people so that progress can be made. How does that work? Please, somebody help me out with that. How does that work? See, when the men in this space spoke up and we were giving them hell during the election, they wanted us to be silenced. Even the failure of Kamala Harris said something needs to be done about these podcasters and YouTubers. Does that not mean censorship? Then you got this bald-headed Grace Jones looking individual, and shout out to you, Primo, for saying that. These people have not been working hard for us. They haven't. I haven't seen them bring a lawsuit in a while against some of these companies who are financing cars. Hell, repos are up. And I guarantee you all of them ain't legal. But you got this bald-headed broad up here talking about censoring the American people, and that's what I was waiting on. When I heard it the first time I saw it, I was like, did I hear that correctly? Like, what is she talking about? Censoring people? Like we shouldn't have the ability to speak out and make it known. And Elon Musk, if I'm not mistaken, is an American citizen, and all these folks that are on his team who are tweeting out what they keep finding. You want to censor that too? You want to censor anybody that don't want to agree with you? That's all this is. They want to censor everybody who doesn't agree with them. That's why they lost the election. They wouldn't listen to black men. They didn't want to hear anything we had to say. We were on the outskirts. We didn't matter. But that 10%, that 8 to 10% that helped swing the election in the other direction, you're welcome. I was a part of that too. Y'all can miss us with the bullshit. But yet, here we go. Another Keisha being the face of something she has no business being in. The CFPB, what could you possibly gain from defending this aside from the obvious? Just to be heard and seen on television, just to take your cheap shots at Donald Trump and the Doge team to advance your agenda. Because I guarantee you, when you keep following the money, you're going to find some of that money is tied to some of these crooked things that people like her are a part of. It's like I saw on Twitter, somebody asked the question, how does somebody make $180,000 a year and become a millionaire by the time their term is up? Or if they ever leave the office? You got guys in this office, women too, who are worth what? 1,000% more than when they went in. How the hell does AOC walk in there and she's been there 6-7 years and now she's worth like $20 or $30 million? I'm pretty sure if I look up her net worth, which I probably should have done before I jumped on here, and looked at her net worth and try to figure it out. Now you got people like Ilhan Omar, who's worth quite a bit too, even though she married her brother, which is fraud. If you want to talk about contract marriages when it comes to citizenship. Hold on, bear with me. I gotta take a pause. Sorry about that. I got a phone call. Had to pause for the calls. Anyway. But yeah, like they're always throwing black folks in front of the camera to defend stuff that ain't got nothing to do with us. A majority of that money did not go to black folks. You're going to find a lot of people that look like Elon and Donald Trump with their hands in the cookie jar, and it just so happen to be Democrat. You got some Republicans who are probably in there too. But as far as we know, I appreciate the sub, but Larry Talbot. But as far as we know, these folks don't look like us. They don't. Yeah, I appreciate the sub, man. I really do appreciate it. I'm trying to grow this channel up. But let's continue on with more of what Lex Luthor got to say.
But they are not serious. This is not about government efficiency. What kind of efficiency makes people hungrier, poorer, and less safe? The CFPB are watchdogs fighting for the people, so no wonder Elon and Donald want to gut it. They don't want watchdogs protecting the people. They want predators and bad actors to run rampant and take people for a ride. These men just want to pillage the government and make themselves rich. Meanwhile, the CFPB, this essential agency that could...
Wait a minute. Isn't Nancy Pelosi already pilfering the government with insider trading, allegedly making herself rich? Like, I'm serious. Aren't all of those politicians making themselves rich, taking kickbacks? See, that's the bigger problem. A lot of these people were getting kickbacks by doing these shady deals, and they were funneling the money through USAID, and they don't want anybody poking around because it's only a matter of time before some of those undisclosed contracts come back. It's only a matter of time. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, Keith Jordan, you're right. I'm glad they're getting rid of it too. That's consultant, appreciate it. But that's pretty much what it is. So between the two clips I just played, because I'm not going to be on here long, you see that they will stop at nothing to try to defend what's already happened. They don't want you digging back in the past. They don't want you going through the entire list and auditing the government. And what these guys are doing are using software. See, the technology is better today. We have AI. So what a human person might miss, AI may be able to detect it and figure out exactly what it is. And these guys on that Doge team are smart enough to do it. And it scares the hell out of these people. These folks don't know what to do. Before it's all said and done, you're probably going to be looking at a lot of indictments from people past and present who are in office, who sucked up millions of dollars, if not billions, as a collective. See, regardless if they say on TV, had zero problem in finding black people who voted the same way I did. Right. And I'm not afraid to admit it. I tell people I know, I don't give a damn. Y'all keep voting for the same thing, looking for different results. These folks sat there and looked black folks in the face and said no to reparations for years. Now, I'm not a big proponent of reparations, but I thought it was kind of funny as I was doing the count on a lot of these contracts. You're talking 200, 300, 400 mil over the course of 15 years for some of these people, some of these companies. And we're talking like, when it's all said and done, we're somewhere in the trillions. A good portion of our national debt was funneled through USAID. My great grandchildren, if this doesn't stop, will be paying for it. And it's crazy. It's like they got that black card and they ran that bitch up and never looked back. It's like they never got the bill for it and they didn't expect nobody to look. They expected nobody to look. And then when the ball dropped and they're caught with their pants down, now what? But the biggest thing that I saw, and a lot of people aren't even really talking about it, and I'll show it to you right here before I get out of here, is this what I found from this gentleman here on Twitter, David Hundayan, right? Find him on Twitter, and I'll blow this up for you a little bit. If I can blow it up a little bit more. Where is it? I'm gonna bring this up just a little bit more. You know, I gotta be careful with some of these links in here. And you click on this link, and what does that say right there? Trafficking, crimes against minors, labor, and sexually. Trying to be careful with the words here. And then there's all these redacted reports. If you go to Bloomberg's article, when was this put out? Let's see. This was put out last year. You think this is not going to come back this year with Doge? Towards the end of last year, August 23rd, 2024. Now, I'm not going to read this. I may do another live stream and read this out live on air. I'm about out of time. I'm expecting guests for dinner. But when you go through this, you're going to see a link here to the whole 400-page document. Where is it? There's a link here somewhere. Like right after the ads. There's a link right here. With all this redacted information. And you can scroll through here. Read this at your leisure. I wish I had this on my computer. I would post it in the chat. But just go through and read it. Now, some people want to say, you know, the organization needs to stay because they've done a lot of good. But as far as I know and as far as I see, there's been more bad than good. More bad than good. So if it takes taking down the whole organization to restructure it and put it under the State Department where it has more oversight, I'm down with it. I'm cool with it. That is fine with me. But taking down the whole department to get rid of the tax burden so that money goes back into our government, back into our own programs, that's what I want to see. You know. But that's all I got for today. You know, so I appreciate y'all, those of y'all who came in here, who decided to sit here and watch and listen to what I had to say. I really do appreciate it. I'm gonna try to get back on here more often. Like I said, I got an engagement. I got to get downstairs and finish getting dinner ready. And I'll see y'all on the next one. I'm saying thank you.